All right, folks, let's go ahead and go into our market analysis from yesterday and take a look at what we have going on today. Clearly in SPX yesterday, a massive move, right? So we opened at 45.50, closed at essentially 46, 8.33 points off from 46. We did break through 46 to 46, 12, 60 yesterday. And so a really strong day. We did hit essentially this resistance right here at 45.90, right? And we saw this yesterday with our purple line that 45.90 was going to be an important point, and that's where we closed. So a couple of things to note. We do have this significant line from our price level here. We also have this trend line that also acted again as resistance. So we saw that. We continue to hold. We talked about holding these areas, right? We challenged it essentially 3 times, this general area right here from the October 2021 gap. And then we went, right? So let's take a look at what this looks like on our minis and take a look at today, right? So E-minis are up 1.3% today, 1.3% following through a really significant day. So we saw this base here in our minis, all right? We can just add this level, this 45.90 level, right? And then we went. So what's really interesting about our minis today, right? There are a couple of things that I want to spend some time on in this chart. So one, we challenged going lower here at this base at 45.90, right? So we just talked about how important this 45.90 level was on SPX. Obviously, it's going to be equally important on our minis, right? So let's go ahead and color this now yellow. So this is yellow. And as you can see, right, challenged in this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, right? So we have 7 straight days. At some point, this 45.90 level was an important level, right? So 45.90, super important level. So what do we see on today's candle, right? That's where we closed yesterday, 45.90. We closed a little bit above this 45.95 on our minis, just a little bit different because of the time, this is going to change. So we have the 45.91 here on SPX. We have, let's get back. We have 45.95 here on the minis again. SPX is going to close a little bit before our futures are going to close. And then we have this day right here. So we based, challenged, and now we're basing. So as I look at today, this 45.90 level is a critical hold, right? We saw this as support. We lost support. This now becomes resistance for 4 days, right? 4 days worth of resistance, and now we're above it. 45.90 is a critical level that has to hold. Looking ahead, this is an area that's 46. Let's just change this to 46.60. And then we're going to change this to a nice purple line because this now becomes pretty significant resistance, right? I mean, we can even go back a couple of days, right? So let's edit these properties. We'll go back 1, 2, 3. Let's go back at least 3 days. No, I did not account for the weekend, right? So let's go back 2 more days and see if we get there. And 1 more day. So as you can see here, we have support. We break through support 2 Fridays ago, and now this is resistance. What do I anticipate happening? I anticipate a little bit of a cool off today, or at least figuring out what it wants to do here. We might go back and forth between this area. So again, we're looking at pretty significant volatility, right? This certainly supports a VIX of a little bit more than 16. We'd be looking at what a VIX of just over 20 right now based on this type of a move. So we're going to watch this, right? We're going to watch this level. We're going to watch this. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at here on our minis and our SPX here. So those are the game plan, right? So we're going to gap. We're going to have a significant gap here in our SPX. Obviously, we're not going to show the gap here on the minis, but we are going to show the gap here on SPX. We're going to challenge right here at this 46.60 level. So it's essentially where we're going to open. what I don't want to see, really what I don't want to see is a close below 45.90, right? I really don't want to see a close below 45.90. If we see that, then you know, we do 45.90 closes, and then maybe we go back here to this 44.90, right? So we've got a lot of room, 46.60 to 44.90, right? That's 170 points here in SPX. Okay, what else am I interested in today? We'll just go through yesterday's IWM move was good. RUT, you know, continues to see this base here. VIX, it's destroyed, right? Now we're at 23.90. I love to see it, right? Especially because I did short, right? I shorted close to the top. In fact, I was almost right at the top. I shorted at the money and at the money calendar spread here at 35. So I was really close to the top. Kind of proud of that trade. VXX, we're seeing, you know, a pretty significant move down in VXX. Let's see if we can't begin moving towards ATLs. Another nice move here in UVXY, down significantly from the top at 26, right? So down pretty significantly. We'll open here in this area right at 19 there. Gold continues to maybe rebound just a little bit. We are looking at challenging this 50-day in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I'll be really interested to see how these respond here in the Dow Jones as well. So those are the big things I'm interested in and kind of watching here. So I go through the portfolio. Positions, AAL is gapping pretty significantly. I think that we timed that trade well there. We go through AMC. AMC is, you know, seeing a pretty significant decline. We are up today, which is good, but we are seeing that decline. BlackBerry again up, but continuing to see a little bit of bleeding. CCL we got out of yesterday. We got out of our put credit spread. We did see that there again, showed up as a tradable pattern, and then we got in, got out, pretty good profit in about 10 days. We'll see what happens with Dust. Again, Dust is coming down. Fubu has just been getting wrecked ever since we saw this really double top here in the mid 30s. You can even go even further and say triple top. We'll watch this. We are gapping a little bit, but again, there was never a tradable trade. This is what I talk about with our subs a lot, right? This is a growth type of name. It's a tech type of name. I don't really like put credit spreads on these type of positions because we get our chart pattern right here, right? Actually, we get it on this day here at 22. And for most companies, right? So like if you go to an AAL here, this chart pattern happens, you have a pretty good idea that you're going to have, you know, buyers come in. You know, I mean, you see it over and over and over again when you get this chart pattern, and even when you get 2 out of the 3, right? If you get 2 out of the 3 here, that's a pretty good, which is why we have this daily 5% RSI. The fractal energy is so important, and you know, get in hard on these established companies, largely dividend paying companies. You know, certainly not going to experience as much volatility with these, and so you're going to have to be a little bit closer to the money, but I have found just that this chart pattern is so reliable for me that I'm willing to do the put credit spreads there, except on growth names, right? Growth names, because you can get your chart pattern at 22 and still see a ton of bleeding because of the growth and speculative nature of a company like Fubu TV. So, oops, let's go back to our charts. FXI. Gap in a little, right? So we almost had our chart pattern here. I mean, we were super close at 32. That would have been a really good opportunity to sell. We did, of course, get in GDXJ yesterday just for a time. We went below probably here when we are sitting there in the low 40s. Lab D, I mean, Lab D, you know, a 100% move here in Lab D, essentially straight up. But that's because XBI is just ugly, right? So XBI, you know, I mean, we broke through, we had this one price level way out that acted as support, but, you know, this is now, would have been resistance, but we broke right through it. I mean, next big area is this 119.50 area in XBI, but that's why Lab D, right, it's just been on a tear with a lot of volatility associated with it. Momo, again, this is another really good example, right? So Momo triggers here essentially at 10. Yeah, a little bit earlier than 10, maybe this day. You might have got alerted on this day and you just see it. So again, another example of a company that you just, NUGT, a lot of good volatility here. Skills, again, speculative nature of skills. It's why you're not going to see me put on a put credit spread here, because you see a trigger probably early in the day when this is close to 10 and we're already down to 750. Again, lessons that are worth talking about. We've talked a lot about Sportsman Warehouse, TLRY, it's a weed company, TNA. Yeah, TNA, this would have been a good short here. TZA, again, really similar type of trade. UNG's one of my most frustrating trades. I was up really solid on UNG, got too big. We are seeing at least even, so we'll see if this ends up being a solid risk reversal here. So these are the positions that we have on in the portfolio. Continuing to walk through, we have all of our volatility positions, which we spend a lot of time talking through. Wish is embarrassing. 32-3, right? 32-3. I've been trading this since 15. You know, kind of a difficult move to trade through, but haven't been unsuccessful. Workhorse, the same thing, right? I mean, Workhorse is down 90% since it's high. And of course, yen, and a lot of volatility in yen. Of course, that corresponds with FXI. So that's why you're seeing the level of volatility there. Okay, so that's the portfolio. That's where we're at. Those are the securities and the charts that we currently have on the books. You know, we've got the game plan for our SPX. SPX trades. We know what we're doing. We know the levels that we're watching. We kind of know what we're hoping to get out of that. And so now we just got to go execute. So if you have any questions, reach out to me via Patreon. Otherwise, let's have a great day and happy trading.